where players are forced into a decision where they have 4 or 5 different possible either item checks or badge checks. And who knows, maybe making the right decision or the risky decision could pay off.
Well, we'll see how it gets started
Yeah,
now.
We'll see in due time. Both players are started. I know it looks like Horse is still on the waiting screen until right there. He's got a bit more stream latency on his end, but don't worry. They are both off and running for our grand finals. All right, we'll have our first look at the starters on Snorm's screen. We've got a Xatu. Shoutouts to our friend Fian. Ooh, a Houndoom. A solid choice. And a Tentacruel.
These could all be runnable, actually. It might be... Okay, I was thinking it might be worth a save here, but Snorms is going right for the Tentacruel.
Yeah.
We will see. Water types are always very solid in these because Surf is guaranteed, and you usually get it pretty early.
Mm-hmm. We'll see if Horse goes for the same thing. I think if you had to have like one of their top 2 choices, I think the Houndoom might be the other one. But he also goes for the Tentacruel as well. So both players on the same wavelength early on.
Yeah, I thought we might see a save. We didn't see one. But I'm sure there'll be plenty of other possibilities to choose between if the Tentacruel ends up being not very good. We'll see its moveset pretty soon, I reckon. Dunsparce is the first thing we see. Yeah, what an omen. All right. Okay, so we've got Aeroblast, which is pretty powerful, I guess. Everything else looks kind of bad.
Yeah, it's kind of funny, especially when it comes to the starters. Almost always, the worst Pokemon comes with the best movesets. It almost seems ironic like that. Man, if you thought a Dunsparce was great, how about a Smeargle on Route 29? So of course, yeah, one of the early strategies, since we don't have to go back to the lab and we don't have to fight Rival 1, usually we don't take a second pass at Route 29. On some occasions, usually if you see something or spy something good early on, you might take that small investment just to go back to that first tile 29, try to generate some encounters, give yourself a couple extra spots there. But Snorms, having seen a Dunsparce and a Smeargle, thought, nah, no thanks. I'll try my luck on 30 and beyond.
Very nice how they had the Nuggets as their held item on the starter. Mm-hmm. That's probably not so helpful right now, but you do want that money when you want to buy some TMs and your X items and all that. Every money item helps a little bit there.
Absolutely. I actually find that even if you can sell $50 extra in that first mart, you can get yourself 1 extra Pokeball. Because that's the other thing with not ever going back to Professor Elm. The aid never actually gives you that 5 extra Pokeballs. By the way, our first item that we get is Fly.
Well then, we don't quite get what you were hoping for, but maybe they'll have some option to try and look for the Storm Badge.
Storm Badge, and that's the thing. It's only 50% of the equation, and I mean Chuck could be Storm Badge, Blue could be Storm Badge. You could still be in a situation where it could be on different sides of the map, and you got to make that decision. So I'll hold out hope that this might be it still could very much be a late Fly ROM, just based on where the Storm Badge is. But to that respect, I think now is a good opportunity to remind everybody just how our key item randomizers work. Of course, like most randomizers, most any randomizer, a lot of things are random and shuffled around, not just the Pokemon and the movesets themselves, but of course the key items and the HMs, the 26 that you see in the first 4 rows on the tracker here, those are all shuffled. They're in the same spots, but they're all shuffled within themselves location-wise. And the badges are also shuffled, but the badge effects are still tied to those badges. So, of course, they have HM2 Fly, but they'll need the Storm Badge to actually be able to use that in the field. And it works the same for a lot of the other important Johto badges and the HMs that they are tied to, especially when it comes to Cut, Surf, Strength, Fly, and in some cases Flash and Waterfall. So we'll be on the lookout through that throughout the course of this run and just see what direction the logic will take us. But early on, Horse does have an Electabuzz, and he's going to try that against youngster Mikey, while Snorms is still rolling with the Tentacruel for now, but I'm sure that he's not 100% satisfied with that.
Yeah, I don't think Horse is particularly convinced by the Electabuzz either. He was looking a little bit more on Route 30 to see if he could find something else. So Electabuzz has some pretty powerful moves, but nothing reliable, really.
As you see, it already missed 2 Hydro Pumps in a row.
Yeah, you got Hydro Pump, 80% accuracy, 5 PP, Cross Chop, same thing. Solar Beam is a 2-turn move. There's nothing you can really... It's really spammable here on this Electabuzz.
Yeah, at least he can get by the fight. I mean, to not be walled early on is always at least a small hurdle. Snorms has a Scyther on his screen, which is
Scyther can be really good. Yeah.
Yes. With the only drawback right now being that it is a female Scyther, so we know it has the bottom range of attack DVs. It did show Jump Kick, which is a very solid fighting type move to have. So Snorms is gonna take a look here after the catch.
Okay, so we've seen Jump Kick and Return. Return is pretty weak at the start. That'll take a while for that to get going. I don't know if I don't know if he'll teach over that. He might teach over that. I don't know. It depends on how many move slots he needs. He needs for other moves. But so far, all we've seen is Jump Kick and Return, which is all right. Jump Kick is a pretty decent move.
And honestly, you probably saw it in his menuing. He was confident enough right away that he just put it up front, didn't even look at the rest of the moveset. He'll look at it right now. That's
Razor Wind. Oh no, Razor Wind is very bad.
Ooh. Oh, looked like he tried to maybe get a little experience on the Sunflora, which ended up having a fire type move, and it was kind of a fat chance at that moment. And Horse is trying to catch the Tyranitar.
Yeah, I saw Thunder Punch. I'm not sure what else it has. It's just going for a lot of Thunder Punches at the moment. But Tyranitar, yeah, is one of those pseudo legendaries with base stat total of 600. So it's got a lot of stats to back it up. We'll see what moves it has. We've got Thunder Punch and Psybeam. That's not totally convincing. Tyranitar,
yeah, along with Fury Swipes and Destiny Bond. Yeah, I think right now you're kind of still in that. I think he's do a little better stage.
He's just not seen anything that he's happy with the moveset on. So I guess he's just taking the thing with the highest stat total. So that he can. So if he comes across some good TMs, then that'll help him out, and he can just roll with this.
Now, in your opinion, when it comes to running a Pokemon with a 4x weakness, which both these runners have right now, both in the T-Tar being 4x weak to fighting type moves, and the Scyther being 4x weak to rock type moves. I mean, how nervous does that make you if you're kind of forced to roll with that kind of allergy, so to speak?
Well, for me, I'm not with the Scyther. There are very few rock moves in the game, so I'm not so worried about that. I am a little worried because Scyther is fairly frail, but it is at least pretty fast, and it can just so hopefully you're hoping that it can just take stuff out before they hit you. Tyranitar's a bit slower, so I feel like it might get hit a bit more by those super effective moves. It's
I always kind of relate it to like trying to run a Grand Bull, and I always find that in Sprout Tower, you're most likely not going to be one-shotting everything right away. So you're giving the opponents more of an opportunity to use those 4x or any kind of super effective move, because all of these trainers do have the smart AI. So I always find that even if I'm running Dragonite, somebody has an ice type move for me. So I would not be surprised if somebody's gonna pull out their fighting type move against this Tyranitar, but so far so good.
Smart is Scyther Fly, so that's that's something you don't often think about, because Fly, slow 2-turn move, but it is a 70 move.
Power, yeah.
And definitely his strongest move at the moment.
Yeah, and teaching that to a flying type you have effectively 105 power move. So yeah, it definitely makes the moveset a lot better, especially with, I mean, so flying, fighting, he's got a decently good coverage right now. Decently.
A fun fact, Scyther can't actually learn fly in vanilla.
Huh. But Doduo and Dodrio can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't ask me how that works.
Yeah, me neither. But it's a randomizer, so all things are possible. My favorite is teaching Snorlax fly. I don't know how it works, but I find it pretty funny.
It's just like there was one episode of the anime where Brock was like, Snorlax flies after it jumped really high. It was
I remember the episode of the anime where it swam and it was doing the butterfly and was like, oh man, that Snorlax can swim. So I guess anime canon that Snorlax can learn Snorlax can learn surf. I mean, he's probably buoyant enough that like he just floats like a raft, to be honest.
Yeah,
so
fair enough.
Yeah. Yes, but both players actually very quick through Sprout Tower. Snorms is already on Sage Lee, and Horse will be there just momentarily. And actually, just based on some of the stream latency, I wouldn't be surprised if just in real time they're actually on the same fight at the same time. I think Horse got a few fewer encounters on 29, so... but at least for our viewing enjoyment, it looks like they're kind of right at the same place right there.
Big thunderbolt there from Totodile.
Totodile.
He was able to hang on, but man, if that was a Crocodile, he'd be in trouble. But it looks like he's just able to take two of them. Very close.
One HP in a dream for Snorms. And his reward is strength. So already with two great HMs in pocket.
Yeah, I think he might teach that over return because it will take a long time for return to get as strong as strength.
Yeah, I believe return's maximum power can be 102 base, but that's of course with max happiness. And when I've been done with these runs, and usually you look up the Pika save just to see your Pokemon stats and whatnot. Your happiness might be close to maxed out throughout the course of a run, so you might get to that 102 power right on red. But in the early stages, it's only like, what, 40 power or so. So, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. And to no surprise, he did teach strength.
Yeah, he still has return because his other move was spikes. It's quite interestingly, they both had the option to learn Lovely Kiss on their Pokemon. Snorms declined to teach it. Horse did actually teach it to Tyranitar, so...
That's actually not terrible. What, 75% accuracy sleep move?
Yeah, I think so. It's something like that.
It's not quite as OP as Spore is.
Yeah.
But it can get you out of a jam.
Yeah, we were talking about those ×4 super effective moves. It can definitely help you out of a tough situation like that.
But yeah, actually, this is a very fast pace to see both players just kind of hang in there. And yeah, the T-Tar with strength now is going to be a big difference and probably a big relief for Horse. And Snorm's taking advantage of just the two HMs early on.
Well, we'll see if he can get through this guy. Snowbear was mentioning Vital Throw Donphan, so that's a little scary for Tyranitar.
And here is the Donphan. Let's just keep an eye here. Oh, it opts for a low kick instead.
Oh, okay. Well,
yep.
That's also not great.
Looked like at the current HP that he was at, it was kind of in that two-shot range. So if he went into that fight at full, he would have been a lot better off. But just opting to have the Electabuzz finish him off with Hydro Pump, definitely a pretty smart idea on Horse's end. Be like, yeah, I'm kind of done with that 4x fighting move, so...
Wait, what kind of randomizer? Hulk just gave the TM for Mud Slap. What the heck?
What?
That's crazy. Okay.
Wow.
Well, there you go. That's our first what kind of rando, and
that's a big one too.
I don't think I've seen that happen before.
So I saw. I want to say it was Shen and Chris, Shenanigans _360 Chrism, were doing a Emeralds Battleship. And I think Roxanne gave them a TM for Rock Tomb. And they were both like, what the heck? So that reminded me of that. Snorms opting not to pick up the Paralyzed Cure Berry. I just wanted to make note of that. That was just something where I was like, oh, he's just walking by the berry tree, gonna pick that. Wait, he didn't pick that up.
Yeah, he does have 4 paralyzed heals, so I think he's covered there.
Yeah. But yeah, fantastic work from both runners early on. But of course, we're just in the early game right now, still checking all those, the first set of items, which is usually the first 7 in Southern Johto, for, at minimum, the bicycle. That'll help us go quite a bit faster. And we'll get our first of our progression items between the squirt bottle and the pass. And of course, if we have the pass, that turns into an early Kanto access. And yeah, and you said you were hoping for that, and still very much a possibility here. Just a coin case, by the way. It was the Route 32 Pokemon Center item, so not necessary there. And by that logic, we'll just want to remind everybody, in terms of what is considered Go mode, we are going to need to pick up at least 6 key items between Cut, Surf, Strength, the Secret Potion, Card Key, and Machine Part, and of course, a couple access items between the Squirt Bottle, the SS Ticket, and the Pass. Between a combination of 8, you can complete the entirety of the game with just those 8 key items and HMs, but we're going to see a lot more throughout the course of this run. And of course, we already have Fly, which can be very, very useful for these runners. But yeah, early on, by the way, I wanted to mention that I saw Snorms pretty much just skip the Union Cave TM, which is one of your first opportunities to get a new TM and potentially a new move. So interesting that he's just pretty much going for the Blitz strats at this point.
Yeah, this is pretty typical of Snorms from what I've seen. He likes to just go if he feels like he's got enough to get through. Horse is checking the TM, and I don't blame him.
I think the T-Tar needs a little bit more work, because Snorms was able to take advantage of Fly instead of Horse. I don't think he will get as much advantage out of that.
Yes, Snorms' moveset is it's not incredible, but he's pretty decent on coverage at the moment. The TM was rest anyway, so it turned out to be not that good. He lives on 1 again.
Wow!
Oh my goodness. Scyther is just it's getting through somehow.
Ooh, and the Starmie with Ice Beam. Wow.
They both have Ice Beam. Is he going to live on 1 again? Because that did 19
it looks like... Oh, no. He lived on 1 again! Oh, but he got burned this time around. That's going to be a little bit more challenging.
Wow. Yeah, I thought Sacred Fire might KO because it has that slightly higher power, but
I thought so too. I was like, whoo. The Starmie with Recover? What kind of randomizer?
This is tough. This is tough, actually. You,
so
man, with a moveset like this on Scyther, you don't really expect to get walled from the first rocket and Slowpoke well, but it's not looking great for Snorms right now.
Oh, yeah.
We'll just have to...
No, the Starmie that's spamming Recover.
Yeah,
we'll see if...
doesn't have enough Aeroblast to get it low, either. Psywave... Psywave is a move that does between 1 damage and 1.5 times your level, so it'll do between 1 and 9 damage to this Starmie. So that's not really something reliable to get it low.
Whew.
This is where you think that it maybe if he'd actually taught Lovely Kiss, it might be helpful in a fight like this. But that ship has sailed, unfortunately.
Yeah. Let's see how the T-Tar fares here. Well, he's got Thunder Punch on the T-Tar, so looks like that's going to make work of the Starmie. So Horse is officially pulled ahead in this race. Yeah, it looks like Snorms at this point is just hoping the Starmie KOs him. because he's just kind of stuck right now. Because the Starmie only had Ice Beam and Sacred Fire, so it's not going to damage the Tentacruel all that much.
Yeah, there's... like, this Tentacruel might even be able to KO it after he stalls him out of recovers, but yeah, he just
recovers a 20 PP move though. Like, that's an absurd amount of PP to have for recover.
Yeah, they lowered it to 10 in more recent generations because they thought, wait a minute, 20 PP is a little crazy on this move.
Yeah,
but
I'm sure Snorms is just like, why isn't this a later generation right now? It's I can't tell you. There was a time recently. By the way, that Tyranitar just fainted on Horse's screen, so it's not like a walk in the park for him either through Slowpoke Well.
Even with Lovely Kiss, he couldn't get through that Marrow.
Another Vital Throw.
Yeah.
Oh, and there Snorms finally takes the wipe. Gosh, there was a time, I think I was racing with Keyzeron, or it was either him or Geospone. I was like, just kill me, please. And I don't even remember if it was a death warp or an unintentional death, but I just remember that I was in this stalled position. Looks like one of the horse had the sacred ash, excuse me.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, that's something that you often pick up, and you're like, when am I gonna actually have a chance to use this? But yeah, you wouldn't expect to see it this early, but hey, it's
a nice item to have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sacred Ash, an item that you can only use outside of battle and only if one of your Pokemon is fainted, and you get a full like Pokemon Center heal all of your Pokemon, all your power points. Yeah. So the great opportunity there to not have to walk out of Slowpoke Well and go back and heal up. Looks like Snorms did manage to get past the Starmie this time around.
Yeah, and just in case you didn't teach Lovely Kiss to Tyranitar, how about another 75% accurate sleep move in Sleep Powder?
Wow. Gonna take a pass this time around.
Was that like Mirror Move or something from Zero just there? What happened? It just used Fly.
Yeah, you don't want too many things to be copying Fly against the Scyther. Oh, and the Marowak had Thunder to boot as well.
Oh my goodness.
Snorms is having a time in Slowpoke Well.
Sure is.
This is going to be his second wipe. Oh no, the Tentacruel clutched it out against that Marowak.
Here we go. Behold my new main.
And we're gonna see the exact same thing.
On the same trader too. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Goodness me.
Man, if you missed Sacred Ash once, well, we had it twice in this race so far. Well.
I still feel like this Tyranitar is not that great, but it's just been dying less than the Scyther. Yeah, Thunder Punch has been doing all right actually. I mean, it was great for that Slowbro, that level 14 Slowbro. Without that, he might have had a much harder time.
I wouldn't have pegged Tyranitar as being able to effectively use special type moves. But I wonder, just with its high stat total being a pseudo legendary, that it has like enough invested. Like, think of like an Ursaring, which has, I think, base 75 special attack. So if you have a special attack, like if you need to teach Surf just to have rock coverage, it definitely can utilize it. So I wonder if it's kind of in that kind of stat total range.
Yeah, Tyranitar's base special attack is actually 95. It's pretty decent. It's higher than you'd expect.
And honestly, having Thunder Punch and having any kind of like good electric type move, Thunderbolt, Thunder Punch, even Spark to some regard, it just feels like a good thing to have in your back pocket, especially if it is your back pocket move, because water types can be so bulky in Generation 2. I mean, the joke is that most water types are in the they're in the B tier for bulky water types.
I don't know if Tyranitar's going to be able to get through this before Perish Song takes him out.
Oh
okay,
no, yeah, he's at just one, and there's a Dragonite.
Yeah, no, he's not going to be able to one-hit that, but...
Yeah, only if he had an Ice-type move instead of the Thunder move, which, by the way, that Dragonite also has Thunder Punch.
Pseudo Legendaries Club with... You must have Thunder Punch to enter.
Yeah, so he will heal out. Yeah, just gonna go for strength. Looks like it's gonna be a 3-shot here, but more than bulky enough to be able to tank a Thunder Punch from the Dragonite. Honestly, this has been a high experience ROM. If that Tyranitar is already at level 18 after fighting Bugsy, that feels like a pretty high level even for this early in the game.
Yeah, I mean that'll help him take even more hits with his Tyranitar and just keep not dying.
having a little extra bulk must be good this time of year. And then Snorms is now on the Bugsy fight, while Horse is on Rival 2. Our first look at the Rival fight.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about how Snorms' fight is going to go, because Snorms, he slips on 1 again. What the heck? But
if we're counting, I think that's the 4th time already.
Yeah, I'm a little worried about how he's going to take on this Thunder Punch Dragonite.
I think Snorms is going to be in for a rude awakening in just a moment.
Okay, it does less than I thought. Never mind. Never mind. He's okay.
You know, I think it's just the level coming into play. A level 18 now level 19 Scyther. Usually when I'm going into Bugsy, you're usually around 15, 16. So I think they're a couple levels higher than what they would be normally, and I think that probably pulled Snorms out of a jam this time around.
Yeah.
More fully evolved, more pseudo legendaries than say babies in terms of your experience routing. But a Horse now in Ilex Forest, as we will see our 4th item quite shortly. The far-fetched air quotes puzzle. I know it's not much of a puzzle. And honestly, I have to give a shout out to some of the other the other PSR guys who have actually done a couple key item randomizers. In fact, just last night, I was watching Swiftaloo, Pulse Effects, and Sparkle Lantern along with Joker Sleeps. They did their 2nd ever key item randomizer, and I remember at one point they were like, "Oh man, one of them was like, how do you do the far-fetched puzzle?" And they were like, "What puzzle?" It's not that hard, right? Somebody got stuck on it. They were talking to the Farfetch from the wrong direction, and it kept going through that little loop in the corner.
I'm getting excited here because I saw Horse get the SS tickets, and we haven't seen the squirt bottle yet. So I'm hoping we see the pass in Goldenrod.
Yeah,
I want to see it.
So funny about that. When you see the SS ticket, it's kind of like a little safety net if you don't want to do an early Kanto, because even if you get the pass at this point, you can just kind of take the scenic route, let's call it, where you take the pass, go to Kanto, and you're like, okay, I'm headed to Vermilion to get on the boat back to Johto immediately. So.
Oh, don't say that. I want to see cool Kanto plays.
I honestly think we'll see some cool Kanto plays. So yeah, holding out hope for the pass that opens up a big possibility.
An attack that may cause flinching. If that's bites, that'll be really nice for Tyranitar.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But it could be a bunch of different moves. There's a lot of different moves that cause flinching.
Could be Rock Slide.
Rock Slide would be great too. Actually,
would be fantastic. So I think there's 2 chances.
Yeah, other than that, I think it can be Stomp.
It was Bone Club.
Bone Club is okay. Bone Club is okay. It's not what you wanted, but it's
right.
It's all right. Just a bit inaccurate. and not super strong, but decent coverage.
Now, Snorms did not pick up. He did not pick up Sweet Sense from the gate there at Route 34. So I think that leads me to believe that Snorms is probably not going to do anything too crazy, even if there is a early Kanto possibility. I think Horse picked it up on his end. I would love to see a Cycling Road main switch if there's an early Kanto play, because that is something I haven't seen in some time here. Yes, yes, the bicycle at the bicycle shop. Snorms using his blitzing strats to actually skip the marts entirely. Horse skipped it as well. Well, that's unfortunate then.
We're getting close to finding out as to whether we get the squirt bottle or the pass. We've got to get one of them to get out of Goldenrod.
2 more checks. Snorms is going to get to Buena's card first, and it just gives him the card key.
All right.
I think that's a bit of a lack of security there in the radio tower. If I don't say it, it's just like, hey, excuse me. Hey, person I just met. Here's the key to the building. Have at it.
Alright, we got one more item to check.
Alright,
what do you think, guys? Do you think squirt bottle or pass?
I'm with you. I'm gonna go pass here.
I want it to be pass. I really do.
Just a couple bulky water types on the Pokemaniac there.
Oh, he's actually getting the haircut to increase the power of return by a little bit.
That's actually kind of smart and interesting. Hey, there it is. We got the pass.
Lovely. That's what I wanted to see.
I almost thought Snorms had made a mistake at first because usually I talk to the other shop owner, the one that sells you like the herbs and whatnot. Because I love grabbing heal powders from that lady because they're basically full heals, but a little bit more just a little bit more cost effective. While at the same time, Snorms doing the exact opposite strats. Instead of buying items that reduce your happiness every time you use them, he got a haircut to increase his happiness to get return up to a stronger power right now. Though I gotta say, I was a bit surprised to see the Pikachu even live a strength from a Scyther.
That is...
That might be a little concerning. That your attack DV might be on the low end.
Yeah, we already knew that because the Scyther was female, that it was on the lower end of attack DVs, but not carrying a Pikachu with strength is, that's probably we're probably looking at like 0 to 2 attack DV or something like that.
Yeah, actually, there's a lot of things on Snorms' screen that are living kind of in that low red bar, and that's usually to the point where you're like, oh man, if only I were a male Scyther, that would have made a difference.
Yeah, that Wigglytuff, that's one of them. With a male Scyther, would have died to 2 jump kicks after that barrier.
But the badge check here is vanilla plain badge.
So we get one more item check then. Good stuff. So we don't have to come back here later to... That's an item I often forget about, just for a while. Just the item you get from the flower shop. Yeah,
actually, that's usually something I don't even remember until I see it pop up green on the tracker after clicking the plain badge. I'm like, oh yeah, there's that.
Oh yeah. We'll see what it is. Please don't be a squirt bottle, for goodness sake.
In this case, it is Flash.
Yeah. Alright, we are going to Kanto.
So neck and neck between these runners through the first stage of the game, Southern Johto, and I mean, I don't want to burst your bubble, Garth, but I think they're just gonna take the scenic route.
You're probably right.
I mean, neither of them picked up Sweet Sense. Yeah, and I'm honestly kind of surprised. And if Snorms would have picked up Sweet Scent, I would not have been surprised to see him be like, well, I probably have a very low attack DV Scyther. Might be a good opportunity to maybe main switch to something that's already 10 levels higher.
Where is okay, Horse got a bit confused there. He was like,
yeah,
wait a minute, I don't have the squirt bottle.
And honestly, Snorms made a mistake too, because he screwed up his movements on routes. Gosh, what is this again? Route 8. And he ended up hitting the rotator and had to reset to go around it, because he is going to check the fishing guru item.
Yeah, this is the one item he can check here, and well, I mean, unless this is the lost item, then he can check a second item here. But probably just going to be the one item. It's HM07, which is probably not going to be helpful. But you never know. We have seen some races in the tournament where waterfall has been required.
And they already have the rising badge, and that's kind of where you're like,
maybe.
maybe there is a bit of backwards logic today. So Snorms actually opting to just keep it, go for the Death Warp, which is his second death. I think he almost got a death a second time, but I think that's officially his second death overall. But honestly, money is not an issue. They both picked up an amulet coin, which I believe was in Union Cave. So if they were really hurting for money, they could just go equip the amulet coin and be okay.
Yeah, I believe in fact Horse did that, so he should be pretty good for money for the rest of the race. Yeah. I'm not sure if Snorms did. Maybe he did as well. I don't know.
I did not see Snorms attach it, at least not just yet. But both opting to go for the fishing guru item and then take the Death Warp back to Saffron.
Man, I want to see some cool main switches. I thought Storms might because he died a bunch, but he's sticking with the Scyther. Gosh darn it.
But it does at least offer up the opportunity for us to see two more pretty quick key item checks. And by the way, you see Snorms taking a death against the Sailor here, but not to worry, that's a fight you don't have to win. Much like it's one of 3 fights in the game that you don't have to win, and you get a free heal afterwards. It's that fight, Rival 1, and correct me on the pronunciation, Esween?
Ucine.
Ucine. You can yeah. So when it comes to the Ucine fight, and I remember this from my bingo days. If you fight him and lose, you do technically Death Warp back to the latest Pokemon Center, but you do start the you do activate the it's the Route 42 Suicune event, because that cutscene activates before the fight. But you don't actually have to beat him in order to finish up that sequence. But now we're in Olivine on Snorm's screen, and he's going to pick up the next 2 items here. The first is going to be Surf, a fantastic item. We got pretty good completion on the HMs right now, 5 of the 7 already. A bit of shopping heading his way. Shadow Ball, by the way, one of the TMs. I believe that was the, I think that was the Bugsy TM?
Yeah, that's right.
Did he keep Protect, or did he sell that right away? He sold it. So interesting enough, I find that, and I picked this up from Shenanigans. A move like Protect and Detect, while not, not something you would use in a normal case, can sometimes take you out of a jam if perhaps red might lead with something that you would like to either PP stall or would need to break rollouts. Sometimes that can get you out of a jam, so sometimes I like holding on to a move like Protect just in case. Because of course, like in any percent run, we got to go through the entirety of the game. Ooh, a Sky Attack Meganium, no thank you.
There's another Pokemon that barely survived in the red from Snorms' attack.
Yeah. So as I was mentioning, red is our end goal, and that can be a pretty lofty goal, especially considering he has the level 81 lead and mid-level 70s on everything else. So you got to be very picky and very satisfied with your main and your move sets, and just making sure that you're not going to get bodied on his lead, as we've seen in this tournament before. And I'm sure a lot of us have at least one story of having some kind of red lead that was quite angry. I can remember one recently. Again, it was I think it was the crew with Pulse and Swift and some of the others. Red led a Zapdos that had Aeroblast and Zap Cannon, and everyone was like, "What do you do against that?"
Just dodge every move. Easy.
I've seen rollout Ursaring as a lead on red before.
I mean, with both of these mains, you feel like with the wrong lead, they could have some real problems on red.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Scyther in particular has just shown how easily it can die. So
yeah, and they're both at risk running a 4x, a Pokemon with a 4x weakness.
Yeah,
and I personally love running Dragonites, and I learned recently that Red's level 81, if it has hidden power, the hidden power is ice.
Oh, is that right? Okay,
yeah.
then.
Yep, it was ice. And I was like, uh-oh. I saw the last time I ran a Dragonite, Red's lead was an Espeon, and it had Ice Beam. And it was like, well, GG, guys.
Snorms came here first. I wonder if he might be considering that if one of these roamers is good, he might just go for the roamer switch. We have seen him do this in a previous tournament race, and it worked out very well for him there.
Yeah, and it would be at this time probably about 15 or so levels higher.
He's like, he's low 20s right now on his Scyther. We'll see if he goes for it. We don't hear the cries on
his screen because we had Horse's audio.
He's going
Item Finder first. Well, another HM.
He might not be going for it if he's just getting this.
Doesn't look like it.
Doesn't look like it sounded like anything good. Okay then.
Yeah, so that's probably a case in just unsatisfied with what they sounded like. I'll leave that to you, Garf. You are the cries experts. You got it down pat.
Oh man, you're putting me under pressure here, but I'll see if I can. I'll see what I can do when I hear it on Horse's end.
I usually can only get the obvious ones, like if it's Jinx or Lugia or maybe Miltank or Sunflora. Sunflora always just goes meep meep. It's like, wow, a very distinct cry. By the way, I can recognize Quagsire. I will say that.
I was gonna say.
I can recognize Quagsire.
That one, yeah.
I heard it offhand, and it wasn't even like a key item randomizer. It was just I think I was just watching somebody play Crystal, and not even watching. It was just in the background. I heard the and I'm like, that's Quagsire. not learning false swipe on Snorm's side.
Nice.
I guess it's I guess it's not a catch 'em all, so maybe not as important. Not that this Scyther really has been killing things in one shot, anyways.
It is true, yeah. Might as well be using that instead of return, to be honest.
So they've both gotten the machine parts. That's the second unknown that we've seen in this run too. We've seen a T and now an R.
What could it mean?
Left a paralyzing parting gift. Actually, it was since that was the
P
paralysis lead. It's a little bit.
Yeah, that was an R, wasn't it?
Maybe a little concerning.
Man, the Selectables has seen so much action. It's crazy. I feel like I've seen this way more often than I should have done.
Early stages of the logic here. They have Surf and they have Strength. They can't use Surf yet, though. So I have a feeling that Morty's badge might be an incoming rando moment.
All right, I'm striking out on these cries. I'm afraid I can only recognize one of those roamers. Well, but the one I did recognize was Zubat, so there's no way Snorms was going to be going for that without any extra candies.
Or you know, happiness to evolve into Crobat eventually. I mean, he did get the haircut for the Scyther in the early on. So,
yeah, just do haircut strats.
So he was definitely at least thinking about happiness strats.
Just change the date, get the haircut again.
Yeah, it appears that the available roamers were not really viable in this situation.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You've been told that Raikou was Fortress, which, well, depending on who you ask, could be runnable, but
depending on who you ask.
Yeah, but
actually, it was just
traditionally not that good.
That's the appropriate word for that. Yeah, I was definitely discussing with somebody. I was just like, what's everybody's obsession with Fortress and Magcargo? It's like those aren't things I would use in terms of a main.
Yeah, no, there are a lot of Pokemon like that you know, they're not Pokemon that maybe you would use, but you know,
that's the right person, and they'd be like, oh yeah, definitely.
People have been like, you know, oh wow, this thing, I've had a great experience with this before. And it's like the one ROM where where it's actually been decent, or that they've actually forced it and then just lied about it and then said it was decent.
Yeah, or had a good move set for it or whatnot. By the way, I just saw on Snorm's screen. I know there's not very many rock type moves in the game, but if you run into something with hidden power, if it's on a trainer, more times than not, it is a rock hidden power. There are some exceptions, I believe. I believe the IV sets or the DVs in Gen 2 it is. The DV sets for the rival usually goes to hidden power dark. And you get some other combinations, just like how we see a couple different. Usually it's actually the unknown that kind of reveal what the DV set is for some trainers. Like Rival will always have I think it's the unknown R. But most trainers will have the T or the A. I've seen unknown W on, I think, the Elite Four once.
More vanilla stuff. Vanilla fog badge.
Yeah, I kind of saw that one coming though, just based on progression. Though it actually wasn't impossible because since they did technically have access to Janine, Janine could have had the fog badge, and that would have been a situation where they would have had to go back in that direction. Looks like Storms is heading back towards actually Signwood. Because since they have the ability to use strength, they will be able to complete his gym. Oh, okay, you proved me wrong. Going back to Kanto, it looks like.
All right, yeah, I kind of expected him to go to Mahogany from here, but he does have machine parts, so maybe he just wants to go straight to
Oh yeah, the early Snorlax strats.
Yeah. So I think that might be what he's doing here. He might just do the machine part quest and see if level 50 is anything decent.
I think you're absolutely right. Meanwhile, Horse, I think he just has fog badge, so I think we'll see a divergence here. But yeah, if you're definitely happy with your main at this point, the easiest thing to do is to just go to Mahogany. You know, he's going left as well.
Yeah, no, I think they're both doing the same thing. I believe Horse did this in his last race against Athena, and
never a bad idea.
Really well, and it paid out really well for him.
I did a race with Geospone recently, and I was running a Scyther, which 4x weakness, all that good stuff, and then we had the early Snorlax strats available. Well, it was also something 4x weak to rocks, but it was a Ho-Oh that time, and it was like, oh well, this is much better.
Technically, this is out of logic because they don't have Zephyr badge, but this won't stop either of our races.
Oh no, not at all.
Going through Rock Tunnel blind.
And in fact, I think enough of us have done the early Snorlax strats and Rock Tunnel out of logic so often that we just don't even notice it anymore. It's just like, yes, I can make it to the power plant. I don't care if I need flash or not. Some people are better than others. I still have to use the map, just to navigate it in the dark. But, but there are others that.
I could absolutely not make my way through Rock Tunnel without a map at this stage. But then I haven't done nearly as many key item randomizers as the Snorms has.
Yeah, and Snorms has been on the grind recently too. So picking up that easy TM. Basically, just straight up from the entrance, and then from there, it's you're just in the dark. Don't worry, everybody. It's not a glitch on your screen. They're just going through Rock Tunnel blind.
Yeah, that was looked very smooth from what I could see anyway.
Yeah,
on Snorms' end.
Yeah, I think that was quite smooth. Yeah, and Horse is doing the exact same thing. So, all right, early Snorlax at play here. But here's the thing: if you blinked and you thought it was too dark the first time they were in Rock Tunnel, don't worry, chat. We'll be seeing it a second time. Because since they do not have the Storm badge, no access to fly just yet.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, it is pretty. I've tried to death warp from here, and it is like it has gone badly, even when I had the super ult. So I was like,
yeah,
you don't want to. So yeah, I think you'd rather just go back through the Rock Tunnel in the time you take to try and die to something.
Yeah, because at this point, at least, even though they are attempting to main switch, they do have a main that is decently leveled at this point.
Yeah.
All right, well, they're both in Rock Tunnel at the same time, so we're probably not going to see too much except their sprites.
Just gotta trust they're going the right way.
Just a... It just looks so funny since it is, okay, horse got off the bike just to make sure his movement was solid.
Yeah, it looks like he's not quite as comfortable with this as Snorms is. Snorms making it through very quickly on the way back.
Don't forget to pick up the expansion card while you're here. And horse is through. Yeah, I gotta say that Snorms looked a bit more comfortable. Just based on the speed that he went through that. Alright, we're gonna see what the Snorlax is. And I'm sure Snorms is putting up some blesses. And it is Well, here's the thing, Garf. If you didn't think that there was enough Electabuzz in this ROM already,
yeah.
So yes, while you think, oh, that's just a baby, but here's the thing: it's at level 50, and Elekid does evolve at level 30, and they're in Vermilion, and you have access to a rare candy.
Right, yeah, a lot of babies evolve by friendship, but Elekid is not one of them. It evolves, like you say, at level 30, so easy Electabuzz if you want it. But yeah, and you can you have Surf, you can teach it that at the very least. Electabuzz actually has decent physical attack too, so you can even teach it your other
strength, Shadow Ball.
Yep.
Especially at this point, since you're not really going to commit to anything more powerful than the Snorlax, especially in terms of level anyways. So if you just want to go all in on your TMs, you just teach it strength, teach it Shadow Ball, teach it Double Edge if you want to, and just go with that. I think Horse is going to get a good laugh. Considering his Electabuzz is currently his HM friend, and now he's gonna have a bigger one. It looks like
it's gonna be great. Yeah. Ooh, Swords Dance Electabuzz.
Oh well, good thing you got those physical TMs. So okay, now that's pretty fantastic. Automatic that you teach strength, teach Shadow Ball. For now, that's about it.
Yeah, you could. Yeah,
I think this is a good move, teaching Surf, because that can be a great coverage move. Because I always find myself, especially if you're running physical attackers, if you don't have the right moveset, Rock and Steel can be a bit problematic. So Surf kind of takes care of that.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good enough moveset to take him through the rest of the game. Really, I doubt he'll want to change anything, to be honest, with Sword Stance. I mean, he can't really change that much because because he has 2 HM moves.
Getting good use out of Shadow Ball immediately with the Jinx on the screen, and Horse is seeing the Elekid as well. Yeah, interesting point here. This time around, they flip-flopped, so Snorms has the male. This Elekid currently is a female Elekid, and I wonder if he's going to look at the moveset, see Swords Dance, and be like, should I reset for male, or is Swords Dance pretty much just good enough?
Yeah, I think with this level advantage, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, because of that gender ratio for Elekid, then that means that the attack DB is between 0 and 3 for for Horse. I think it's 0 to 3.
Which honestly felt like what the Scyther was just previously.
Yeah.
But at this point, so now they have a decent collection of key items. In fact, they have 4 out of their 6 go mode items. They got the card key, machine part, surf, and strength. And they can use surf and strength as well, which is a big advantage. So I think right now the priority is finding the storm badge. So I think we're going to see a lot of badges right now. Even I would not be surprised to see these guys also take on Sabrina, just because that storm badge is going to be so valuable in terms of how fast they can complete these runs.
Yeah, Sabrina's one of those leaders who you think, you know, oh, I'll take her on quite a bit later because my Pokemon's not strong enough. But he's got a level 50, he's got a level 50, 51 or 52 Electabuzz for Sword Dance, so I think I don't think you'll have any problems there.
Yeah, there's actually quite a few gyms that are opened up right now to get that storm badge. So it could very well be Sabrina. The Boulder badge was the one that was on Surge. So it could be Sabrina. It could be Janine, which is kind of an interesting that would be very much an interesting location for that, because you know, sometimes it's like, I don't want to do the time investment to go down Cycling Road if you don't have Fly, because then you have another extra fight on your way back up Cycling Road, and going up Cycling Road in itself is already kind of a pain. But if that's the risk that you want to play and it pays off, that can be a huge advantage. So I think between Sabrina, Janine, as well as Chuck, we could have another vanilla scenario as that gym is opened up right now for these players. If one of those is Storm Badge, we could be start to whip around pretty quickly here.
Yeah, well, this is what you wanted, right? Yeah.
This is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah, you won those scenarios where it could be in various different directions, and it's just, yeah.
Do you take the statistically likely play, or do you go out of your way to make the big risk for the big reward? In this case, Sabrina is just the rainbow badge.
Okay. So yeah, will we see him go towards Fuchsia City, or will we see him? Well, I don't know. There's a lot of different ways he can go. He's going to Cerulean. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense to do this.
I very much hold that the Storm Badge is the priority right now for these runners.
Yeah.
It could come down to just who finds it first, to be honest, and because they're running the same main right now, they've got pretty much the same move sets. They're very close by in terms of progress as well. It really could just come down to who finds that Storm Badge and is able to start warping around the map faster than the other player.
Yeah, it makes sense to do this right now because because if Fly doesn't barely saves any time on Misty if you're like already in the area, so might as well do this now, get it out of the way. The decisions will get harder if Misty doesn't give the Storm Badge.
Yeah. I think from there, then they'll have to come back south. They'll also be both these players' 7th badge. And at that point, then the Rocket Tower sequence is opened up, and they already have the card key. They can do that in just one swoop. And since essentially Saffron and Goldenrod are pretty much just connected via the magnet train, it might just be a smart play that since you're in Saffron, you can just magnet train, do the rocket sequence, get that out of the way, 2 more key item checks, and then go back to badges.
Mm-hmm.
Which by the way would open up yet another gym in Claire's gym.
Yeah, that's right. That's the gym you don't really want Fly to be there. That gym is way out of the way.
Right.
But
and that's usually where you go there and you're like, oh man, do I have to go through Dark Cave to get back? Which I believe is the most efficient way if you know where you're going, and that's another dark room where I have to pull up a map to know where I'm going.
Esteemed, Our esteemed restreamer Snowbear knows all about making that play for the storm badge on Claire and it working out for him.
And don't you forget it. Yeah, I love that these runners have pretty much just shown us that, you know, when you get this down to a science, like there is definitely a science to the routing, and they are getting after it right now. I noticed that Horse didn't go for Sabrina for now, but honestly, not, you know, it's no loss to him right now, because going through these trainers in the hedge maze and what I think is Route 25, if I remember correctly. So all these trainers have level 28 to 37, so pretty much for the most part easy one shots. Though I say that as he fails to one shot a Furret. Probably because he's female to no avail there. He's having the problems that Snorms was having in the early game. But getting these trainers out of the way can offer some great experience, and then on his way back south towards Saffron, take on Sabrina there. He'll have a couple extra levels under his belt, which honestly is a pretty good play. And he's not really losing any time either way.
Yeah, I mean the only way he would have really lost time doing this, it would be
if she had the storm badge.
If she had the storm badge, yeah. But even then, you're not losing very much at all. So,
right, since they are just adjacent cities.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just so interesting that every time we get Fly or we get the storm badge, the other is always just way on the other side of the map or on the other side of the game, to be honest.
It does seem like that.
It just piques your interest just enough to be like, ooh, is this an early Fly ROM? And then you go throughout most of the game and you're like, where in the heck is this storm badge? That will be the key. Snorms is now starting the Misty fight right now.
Yep, easy setup on this Diglett.
Yeah, probably just double swords dance and go.
Yep.
Don't even have to bother with a physical move with it being, you know, a Diglett. So we are just past the 1 hour mark. Snorm's about to get his 7th badge, no problem here. Usually these last about 2.5 hours on the average. I would say these players are even a little bit better, so we could easily see in the 220s range in terms of time. And if they get Fly early, we could even see 2 teens or faster. Just Thunder badge though on Misty here.
And there's the squirt bottle. It's full of water.
Honestly, it's a pretty good place for it. Yeah. My favorite actually for Misty's gym is one of the rods in the water, because it's one of the few places that you can fish in the Cerulean gym, but of course never get an encounter. And I just keep imagining, somebody actually trying that, getting so frustrated that they haven't gotten an encounter yet, that they just threw the rod in the water, and that's where it was until you found it.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Useless piece of junk.
Especially if it's just the old rod. Yeah, Snorm's doing the strat that I just mentioned, since you're pretty much right there in Saffron and Goldenrod are essentially connected cities. You got the card key, might as well do these 12 fights.
I think it'd be more fun if it was the good rod, like, the salesman tricked me, this isn't good at all.
What's so super about this? I've been scammed. Oh, the logic chains of these can be quite hilarious. Yeah, and as expected, Horse is going into the Saffron Gym. Which, in this case, this will be his 7th badge. But yeah, right now, since they don't have Fly, their routing is pretty efficient, being able to navigate Kanto, get their badges pretty much just in sequence, in order, minimize their movement, since that is very important when you don't have Fly.
Yeah, we actually don't really have many more key items to find. We just need the secret potion and cut at the moment, and that'll be it. So to be honest,
it is interesting that you mentioned cuts, because of course to access West Kanto we need cut in the Hive badge, but right now we don't have access to that, but we do have access to Waterfall. Remember that from about 30 minutes ago?
Yep, that could still come into play. We could be seeing like cut on Elm or something.
Oh, yeah, that would definitely be the worst of that. It's actually it's one of those things where after you get your 8th badge, the E4 will pop up on the location tracker, and you probably just like look at what you have in terms of badges, and you're like, oh, I do have Waterfall. I sure hope this isn't in logic.
It's gonna be cut on Elm and Fly in West Kanto. No, the Storm badge in West Kanto, rather.
Honestly, I think it honestly would probably be worse to have the Storm badge on Claire. I think that's the absolute worst spot for it. Is it just me, or did Horse pick the morning palette?
He always does this. Just pick the most disgusting
man.
Because he always does this. He picks the boy and he picks the disgusting palette, and
it's like my eyes.
Yeah, and this is the man who's made it to the final, ladies and gentlemen.
maybe it's some kind of wacky RNG manipulation.
If this was like a reality show, he'd have just been voted out long before.
Oh gosh,
this, but,
yeah.
But unfortunately, you get.
I mean, somebody has to play the villain. Somebody has to play the villain in these, don't they? So they are both going through Rocket Tower, and they are massively over-leveled for all these Pokemon. I mean, even in any percent runs, this is the Press A simulator. Isn't that right?
Yeah, you just want to make sure you don't run out of PP. Really, that's your only concern here.
Yeah. So while we're pretty much just grinding out some trainers, how's everything been going, Garf? Just how's life been? How are things going this afternoon? Any big plans on the docket on your end while we kind of wait for these guys to get through Rocket Tower?
Not really, to be honest. We're still kind of, I went out into the center of town for like the first time in 5 months yesterday, so that was something, I guess. Maybe it's slowly getting back to normal around here.
Yeah.
But yeah, besides that, just going to be a day of relaxing, looking forward and watching a good race here, and that's no real big plans, I suppose, but
yeah.
That's okay.
And honestly, I think this is great, because I had this on my mind yesterday, how awesome this is. That I know things are a little bit weird, kind of in, wherever our hometowns are across the world, but to be part of a video game tournament like this just has brought all of us together from around the world, and we're all able to hang out no matter what country we live in. And honestly, this finals is kind of a brilliant a brilliant showcase of that. You said yourself right at the beginning of this that it's like mid-afternoon for you, and it's still 6 o'clock in the morning for me in the US, and Snorms is in Australia, and I just think it's just awesome that we're all just kind of across the world and just finding time to hang out no matter what time it is for us.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely agree. I've got to say, just being connected to a lot of you guys, a lot of people in the speedrun community has just made me feel has really helped me, and I'm sure a lot of other people get through these tough times.
But yeah, very, very, very cool stuff. So the false director only gave the super rod after we were complaining about getting scammed a couple of moments ago. Row 1 completed. Not that that's any terrible effect there. But honestly, what I'm kind of noticing on the tracker is that row 3 looks oddly empty.
Yeah, row 3 is our row of items that don't do anything whatsoever, and so it's quite nice that we haven't seen many of those. But you feel like that the key item randomizer sort of lulls you into a false sense of security here, and you're like, oh, I haven't seen many of these items, and then as soon as you think that, it's like, oh, I'm getting item after item of complete garbage.
Yeah.
So
it's got to work one way or another.
I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a lot of those coming up.
Yeah, just keep Elm in the back of your mind because since it is technically in logic, Elm could be throwing us for a loop here.
Yep, he could have. Yeah, like we say, he could have cut. He could have secret potion. You just don't know yet.
I believe there was a time where secret potion was on Elm and Jasmine was the 16th badge that I got in this run. I'm like, I don't think I've seen this one before. Yeah, there is some legendary quote unquote Snow Bear ROM opportunity here. Let's just put it that way. Of course, the mid part of the game is the part where there are so many different options available and so many different logic chains that are possible based on what items you pick up. It's like a mid game. It's like a mid chess game, where all the pieces are still on the board and there's so many different ways and strategies to play this out. But both these runners trying to pick the most logical, the highest probability chance to pick up what they need and make it through as fast as possible.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way these guys have been playing so far. I do wonder if, we might see some kind of, some almost illogical plays just to try and, just in case one of them feels more behind than the other. But I think that both these guys probably don't feel like they're massively behind at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's kind of like Snorms had a few problems at the start with his Scyther, but he's on he's
on a tear right now.
Since Slowpoke, well, he's been doing all right actually. So they've kind of So I think these guys will probably just do the logical thing. That's what I would expect them to try and do. Try and do it as efficiently as they can.
Yeah, and they got the basement. They got the basement key on the wrong side of the radio tower. They got it on the right side instead of the left side. Always kind of a scary fetch quest item, since that still is quite a bit of an investment. If they didn't have Fly, I could see these players taking that investment, but they already have that half of the equation, so the badges are more important right now. So in this case, Snorms is going to take care of some more, looks like Johto gems. And again, honestly, it wouldn't be that bad of a play to go to Claire and then backtrack through Dark Cave if that is, the kind of, maybe odd or risky play to go after. And there is an item they can pick up in that direction, be the Ice Path item.
Yeah, I think he might. I kind of think he might do that, if anything, because he doesn't have the secret potion yet, and he'll probably just hope that one of these 3 items out this way is the secret potion, so then he can do the west side of Johto even more efficiently.
Yep, going this way to take care of the shiny Pokemon. Which is an Oddish with the yellow petals.
All right, looks like this Oddish hasn't had enough sun. But I suppose if it's been underwater, I can't blame it.
Shoutouts to our friend Sandpie. I also see Poogle in chat, and Poogle and myself and Sandy and Kizaron and I think there was one other. Keys made us do the infamous 420 weed bingo, where he forced all of the starters to be Oddish, and we could only use Oddish on that day. And I think some of us are still a little scarred because it was not that fun of a time. But that one's not the same one. That was a shiny Oddish. The ones we had to run were all normal level 5 Oddishes. Oddish-I? How would you pluralize that?
I don't know. I think maybe just Oddish. I don't
know. You can't blame me for being a little bit witty. It's still 6:30 in the morning for me. But yeah, more looks like more Press A simulator.
Yep, gotta love it when you're like 40 levels higher than everything else around here.
Sure makes quick work of anything you might see. Yeah, 40 levels. Yeah, that looks about right. I mean, honestly, this is even more overpowered than having the Raikou.
Yeah, it's true.
Because usually you would just have the Raikou heading into this sequence, and you're like, huh, level 40 Raikou? How about a level 51 Electabuzz?
Yeah, I'm kind of just thinking, trying to think of because Electabuzz is quite you know, electric types are quite nice for the getting through the game because they only have the one weakness. It is now there are some powerful ground moves for sure, but that does help, especially on, you know, the later fights where you're worried about like a super effective move ending you. So
yeah, and they don't have to worry about being 4x weak to fighting or 4x weak to rock anymore. They just have to worry pretty much just about Earthquake or Bone Meringue, which are both, they're 100 and 2x50 power respectively. But
yeah, now Electabuzz is pretty frail defensively, so if Red does lead with something with Earthquake, it probably doesn't have to be that strong to be pretty scary. But I mean, I would feel fairly confident if I was in these guys' positions.
I would feel confident just because of how over leveled they're going to be. Because usually if I pick up just a regular old starter on Route 30 or 31, you go through the game, and if you're maining that the whole time, you're probably finishing around level 59, 60 heading into Red based on how the experience is routed out. But because they switched to the Snorlax so early, I mean, they're already at 57, and they've only completed 7 out of the 16 gyms, and not even the Elite Four. They could be pushing high 60s heading into Red, and those extra levels are definitely going to come in handy.
Yeah, I think certainly mid 60s is a reasonable expectation here. But yeah, even then, Electabuzz, it's a little scary if there's something powerful with Earthquake for Electabuzz, because it is pretty frail. But barring that, you'll be fine, I think, on anything. So yeah, and especially since they're both running the same Pokemon, it does seem like this will come down to, well, these guys have basically made the same play so far, so it might depend on that that divergence for the storm
badge. Yeah, because when it comes to running the same mains, and others have brought up this point too, like if one player is going to get walled on something, the other player is going to get walled on something. So yeah, if they both come down to red and he does have that, that ground type move, they both have, it has earthquake. They both have to deal with that, and it kind of evens the playing field. So even though red can be, the great equalizer, in this case, it's doing damage to both of them. So yeah, I do that. I am still holding out hope, as mentioned. That kind of search for fly can make a difference, and if Snorms thinks he's ahead, as I assume he usually does, he is a fantastic player. He might just make the statistically likely play, but who knows? Horse might be like, I wonder if Janine might have the storm badge. Let me go check that out. And if he is rewarded for doing that, it can be a huge difference.
Of course, we are still looking for both cut and the hive badge as well, so that's we do definitely have to clear out these gyms at some point soon.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if the players, of course, go for price right away, right after this sequence, and then just continue to head to the northeast of the map and go to Claire's gym, because it is unlocked. They got the extra item check in that direction. I would love to see it, because I usually don't see too many players go for Claire's gym early on. It's usually one of those like 15th or 16th gyms that you're fighting anyways, so I want to see it early.
Well, I think that's often because you don't because you usually haven't cleared Radio Tower by the time while you're in this area. So it's and the Claire's gym isn't unlocked until you clear the Radio Tower. So usually you're kind of done with everything over here anyway. So returning to Claire is just like even more out of your way. But in this scenario, it's kind of right here. So I would not be surprised at all if they do that.
I find it's also awkward with the Ice Path item, which doesn't even get unlocked until you have 7 badges. Not clear the Radio Tower, just having 7 badges, you don't get stopped by the guy in front of the house on Route 44. So once you get those 7 badges, you can get to the Ice Path item. And I always find that so awkward, especially if you don't have strength or don't have the ability to use strength. Then it's like, do I need to check this item or go in a different direction? Because sometimes at this stage, if you're looking for that one extra item, they're pretty much all spread out across the map. It's pretty much at this point like Ice Path, Pharmacy, or somewhere in Kanto. And you're like, which one do I go after here? But to have it kind of all... Again, their routing is so efficient right now that they're just trying to take as few steps as possible until they get to fly. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're like, well, the Ice Path item's right here. I already have my 7 badges. Might as well head that way and then go take on Claire. There's my Pokemon friend Kingdra. Shout out to Geo.
Main switch?
Yeah. The joke is between me and Geospawn, the two of us are really good friends, that I swear every time he makes a ROM for us to play, there's always a Kingdra in the early game. Which kind of makes sense, especially when you have early wilds turned on, so you have 3 times the chance to get a Kingdra than what you would normally do in a randomizer, but still, it seems like the odds are pretty high that we've seen Kingdra. Snowbear behind the scenes mentioning the Mewtwo possibilities in some people's ROMs, and I gotta say that happened because I played Snorms in the first race, and he did in fact find a Snorlax, or not a Snorlax, a Mewtwo on Route 31, and I never saw it, and it was like, well, Snorms has a Mewtwo.
Nice free max elixir in your way, just on your way back. Just, you know, yeah, they'll probably be fine on PP anyway, I imagine, because they'll just like set up and sweep with their high PP moves in the Elite Four. But you know, they don't.
That's never a bad item to have.
Yeah, they don't have to worry about it at all now.
I mean, it's even a situation where you're probably just finishing up blue. You know, you're about to fight rival 5, and maybe you're thinking, how about instead of healing in the Elite Four, I just use this max elixir instead?
Yeah, sure.
You could still save time that way. Hive badge on price, so that's of course half of the equation in terms of cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And Snorms now to Route 44. Shout out to my friend Mizzlesticks. Fantastic guy. We always make fun of him because when he and Keys play bingos, Keys always finds something on 44 and calls it the Mizzle route. So we made sure to tease him for that. Alright, our Ice Path item is the Red Scale. I don't know about you, it was about time we got some row 3 items.
Yeah. Yeah, we've been seeing way too many useful items at the moment. Come on, give us some cosmetic things. You put the red scale in your hair or something.
I mean, in Gen 4 they have like the feathers and you know the little trinkets that you can take pictures with and whatnot.
Yeah.
Snorms, by the way, had a great swag boulder there. Movement is very clean.
Yeah, you always love it when I always love to see that done really well. Because I'm always just too scared because if you push that boulder just too far, you've got to restart the whole thing again. And,
right.
And so it's just like I feel like it's just like the fear of messing it up can really hold you back from getting a good snag boulders there.
Yeah. I figured out a way recently to make it a bit more consistent on my end, but I still that first tile when you're biking towards it from the bottom up.
Yeah, that is.
And you gotta turn around the corner. Ooh, I'm always just a little careful there. Because yeah, that's the one where if you don't buffer your input correctly, you gotta start all over. Yeah, it's just incredible just how trivial some of these fights are, especially in Johto. I do think it's kind of wild, the level disparity between the Johto trainers and the Kanto trainers, and just what a massive difference it is that you're going from, even in Northern Johto, anywhere from the 20s and 30s, and then you head to Kanto, and it's just like every trainer could be a gym leader there.
Well, I mean, they're kind of around 20, 30 area. They're not. I guess a lot of them are not too bad. I guess. I feel like casually, you can get a lot of reasonable complaints about these Johto trainers. They're just these Kanto trainers rather. They're just too easy.
They're just scrubs.
Yeah, but like if they were a lot harder, that would make these key item randomizers.
Oh gosh, yeah.
I mean, I don't know if anyone would even want to race them at that point.
If they made the Johto trainers harder.
Oh geez, yeah.
No. I don't know about you. I just want the Kanto trainers easier. I don't know about you.
It would just just every race would be Kanto main switch. Just like, where's the machine part, darn it?
Horse picking up the red scale as well in Ice Path. Yeah, I have a sneaking suspicion that from here, just kind of playing along. Oh, horse almost perfect on Swag Boulder as well.
Just not quite turning into that last one, but
yeah, but that was pretty good too, and he did not hesitate going around the boulder either.
Yeah, no fear.
I have to applaud him for that big time. So, do you think Signwood is the next play here, Storm Badge or not?
Let's see. So if we don't get Storm Badge, we still don't have Secret Potion yet, do we? So that could be in Signwood. The kind of annoying thing is we now have the lost item, and like it's just like that nagging thing in the back of your head, like, you know, that's the one thing we couldn't check in Kanto before. Like, what if that is something useful? But yeah, I think probably the higher percentage play is to go to Signwood maybe and hope that, well, I don't know, but then that's quite a waste of time if you don't get an item you want over there.
Right. And then they still might have to go back and forth because yeah, I think you're absolutely right with the lost item being a possibility. It's like, do you go back to Goldenrod, and even not just the lost item, but the basement key as well. You got both fetch quest items available to them, but it's just whether or not they want to go after them.
Or just beat the Elite Four now. Easy. No, you probably don't. You probably don't really want to do that unless you absolutely have to. Although Snorms is going this way, so maybe he is gonna try and beat the Elite Four right now. Because usually you'd
he did also
Dark Cave. Man, he looks like he's not quite sure of his way down here.
Yeah, usually you don't go this way. I mean, I can't remember the last time I had to go all the way down Route 45. Don't worry, that guy, he's got no vision. He's a trainer, he's got no vision now. I've never seen Snorm so hesitant before.
All right. Oh, I think he's doing it. He's doing it. He's going to try and take on the Elite Four. That is his play here. All right then. He's just like, you know what? Elm's gonna have something. So
I think that this might be the risky play.
Yeah,
that Storms has been waiting for.
Yeah, I would expect Horse to not do this, so I think this will be a divergence here. So I'm going to be interested to see how this plays out for sure.
Yeah, I think in my position, I would still prioritize Storm Badge, and I'd be like, I'm just gonna keep checking every gym leader and go for Storm Badge. But I think Snorms is just thinking, well, I mean, you're already in Blackthorn, and you got Waterfall, so obviously he's showing his mettle when it comes to knowing this part of the pathing. He's gonna take the free heal in the house as you typically do in any percent runs. I was actually asking Wartab about this recently too, about how many times you even just use the Pokemon Center in a Crystal any percent run, and I think he said only once. And you use it in Violet, and then from there on, you're just all ethers and potions, and you take that house heal.
Yeah, I think in some cases you like deposit in the PC and withdraw as well. But I'm not sure. I'm not too familiar with Crystal, to be honest. The glitchless route.
Yeah, he said it's definitely that in. Whoa, he's doing backwards Kanto.
Oh, all right then. He's not doing it. So this is something that isn't implemented into logic, but you can certainly try this. Yeah. So, all right. So he's gonna check the item in Future City. And...
I've never seen this before yet. just played out. It's been one of those things where it's like, I guess you could technically do this, but yeah, so it turns out, so this is what we call backwards logic, and you can access the west side of Kanto without having cuts. And Snorms just showed you how that is possible. So that cut bush that you see right there is usually what prevents you from getting through Diglett Cave to Pewter City. You gotta have cuts. But if you have access to Waterfall and you can clear the Snorlax, the Snorlax being cleared is the trigger to remove the guard on the right side of Victory Road, giving you access to Viridian City. So Snorms just, for the first time in my eyes, just showcase just how to do backwards Kanto. And so again, I mentioned prioritizing Storm Badge. This is at least a couple extra checks that he might not have been able to get to otherwise.
Yeah, so I guess what he's going to do is he's going to do Blue. If he doesn't get Storm Badge, he will do Blaine, and then he'll do Janine, and then he'll probably go back up to Saffron to turn in the lost item there.
That or continue into, or just backtrack into Blue, who could also have Storm Badge.
He could do that too, yeah. I'm not sure.
Horse did not. Ooh, Horse taking a optional. It looks like Horse was actually a little bit confused. He did backtrack like through Dark Cave, go through Violets, because he's probably going to go through the Cianwood route right now.
Yeah, that looks like.
But he got a little bit confused right at the Sudowoodo turn and ended up running into the Twins. So Brock giving the Earth Badge. Yeah, in fact, if you're using the location tracker, backward, like everything's just pretty much read out. Like you can't even, you wouldn't even be able to click on Brock that you cleared him, because the logic isn't implemented just yet. This was actually recently discovered a couple months ago that this was even a possibility. And we determined that, so we called this backwards Kanto. Meanwhile, Horse is doing the, I guess the more easy route to C, which is just, head up to, just commit to climbing the lighthouse twice, thinking, okay, well, if the secret potion's just in Cianwood, just do it all in one area anyways.
Yeah, I mean, if you're planning on going to Cianwood anyway, you want to be able to check both items, and you can only do that if you climb the lighthouse here without the secret potion.
Norm's fighting Blaine right now. I suppose the Lugia's probably, well, he's gonna set up Shadow Ball. Yeah, the sword stance is just incredibly powerful.
Alright, what is this badge? The Soul Badge.
Soul Badge.
So, yeah, either Janine or Blue from here, I guess. He's going to Janine, it looks like.
To pick up what would normally be the Soul Badge.
Yeah. So, man, I thought he was going to do the early Elite Four play, but to be fair, I suppose that's only one item, and he still has a lot more items to check before he has to do all that.
And this is kind of goes back to that risky play potential, and he's probably thinking, oh, I don't think the other guy is gonna think to do this, and if he gets the Storm Badge, then he's gonna be really, really proud of this play, I'm sure. But it will also be kind of funny that if Janine is the Storm Badge, they technically had access to this a long time ago.
Yeah, he's just kind of made he's just kind of made it not be out of his way. He's like, because Janine's that's why they've been avoiding Janine all this time. Really, it's just been that gym down there that's off the beaten path, and you've got to fight a few trainers to even come here. He is going to have to fight some trainers on his way back, unless this is Storm Badge, to be fair.
And Horse got the blue card from the pharmacy item.
Filling up that row 3. Lovely, lovely.
And this is the Zephyr Badge. And that actually kind of makes sense when you think about how the logic works, because we pretty much ignore Dark Cave, or we ignore Rock Tunnel as being a dark cave. But technically the game doesn't force you to go through any dark areas without the ability to use Flash. So for that being Flash, and for that being the Zephyr Badge, and they have Flash, that does make sense. And they don't have Cut yet, so that would have been the access to the power plant. So unfortunately, Storm's play not paying off. He did not get the Storm Badge, at least not yet. But he is heading back to Viridian to likely fight Blue, get that one more check, and then probably Elite Four from there.
Yeah, he just wants to avoid those optionals if he can, I suppose. Yeah, but yeah, if Blue doesn't have the Storm Badge, he'll have to. We'll be seeing a Rival 1 fight later on.
That we will. My latest Rival 1 was like right before the 3-hour mark, and it surprised me too. I was just like, what is this? The best when it comes to Rival 1, to be honest, is you can activate that fight either on like the top or the bottom tile, but usually if the old man is standing in the way, you can only get that fight on the bottom tile, and then, you know, Rival pushes you out of the way and he runs off the screen. But since you're coming to it from the other way, if you activate the Rival 1 fight on the top tile with the old man still standing there, Rival actually walks through the old man, and we call that rude. It's very rude of him to just ignore that the old man is even standing there. He doesn't even push him out of the way. He just walks straight through him.
Maybe he's not really there.
Maybe he's just a ghost. Let's see the badge on Horse's side. This is the Mineral Badge.
Oh man, we're narrowing it down slowly.
So there's only two options left, is there? Between both screens.
Yeah, we've got it's either on Erica or on Blue. Jeez, all right, and we can't even get to Erica yet because we don't have cuts.
We don't have cuts. So I mean, this is one of those weird logic things where if Elma's holding cuts and Erica's holding Storm Badge.
Oh, that'd be so awful. What the heck?
It would be awful.
Oh my goodness.
Snowbear, I said that
it's Volcano Badge. So Erica does
have the Storm Badge.
Oh my goodness.
So now it's a race to who can find cut first.
Ah, wonderful. Oh, it could be Jasmine, actually, yeah.
Oh, Jasmine could be as well. You're right. Snowberry is right. So yeah,
never mind. So it's either locked behind Secret Potion or locked behind Cut. Wonderful.
And Elle could still be holding one of those.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh, how quickly the logic just kind of turns around. And I mentioned this right at the beginning that, okay, we got Fly. That's only half of the equation. It's every time you get Fly or Storm Badge early, like super early. The other half, it just is always at the end of the game.
I mean, when you call it, you call it, T-Pat. Goodness me, this has been this has been all about just trying to find that second half. Just what you said right at the start of this race.
Yeah, they've been holding fly since like the 20-minute mark, and it's been 90 minutes since, and no luck there. So a couple fetch quest items here, and I'm sure Horse is kind of thinking of that right now as well. As he's heading to Kanto, I believe he's going to turn in the lost item as soon as he gets to Saffron.
Yeah. He might not even be thinking about the possibility of having to fight the Elite Four right now, but...
Yeah, because they're both on... Now, they both don't know what we know, since they have taken the different paths. We've been able to see all the different badges and all the different checks kind of all at once. Oh, there's Cuts.
There's Cuts, all right, so...
So Horse actually could get a good advantage here if Erica is holding Storm Badge, because he now has access to Cut first. Meanwhile, Snorms is just thinking, I'm just going to bite the bullet and try the Elite Four and see the Elm item, which honestly isn't too much of an investment time-wise, because you got to do these fights anyways. You're just kind of sitting there thinking about it the whole time. I do think it's funny that Horse has 2 Electabuzz on his team.
Yeah, that's great. I did say I'd seen more Electabuzz than I expected, and this was even before when I knew that the Snorlax was the Elekid.
Man, this has been an incredible race to watch, because like nothing is decided yet. Like right now, there's definitely no favorites. You know, no one's in the lead, no one's behind right now. They've both diverged, take different paths, and they don't know what the other player has done either. All we know as the audience and commentators is the narrowing possibilities. But yeah, this is really, really exciting. I'd say that Snorms had the slight advantage in terms of the main, since they both did go for the early Snorlax strat. He got there first, and he's got the slightly better main in terms of it being male instead of female, but Sword Stance kind of trivializes that just a little bit. Slight lead here, but if Horse does get the access to fly, that could make a huge difference. Right, Horse is on Erica. Well, what do you think? Do you think we're gonna see this? Do you think we're gonna see the Storm Badge here, or are we gonna narrow it down to its final possibility?
Man, I feel like it's gonna be the last badge we see. To be honest, I think it's gonna be on Jasmine. I feel like that's just that. I feel like I just wouldn't be surprised at all if that was the case.
It's just one of those things where it's like if Elm is holding the Secret Potion, and that leads to Storm Badge, then Storms has got the advantage. Yeah. But if Horse, who got cut first and went for Erica, gets Storm Badge first, then he's got the advantage, and we just have no idea.
Yeah, we still haven't seen the basement item yet either. That could still be in play.
I know that most everybody is just like, oh, I'm going to avoid the basement like the plague. But there it is.
Oh,
Storm Badge on
okay
Erica.
then. That is very nice for Horse then. Now he can fly wherever he wants, well, within reason.
This is very interesting because, yeah, still not in go mode yet, just simply because of the Secret Potion. So Horse has got to start thinking about the items now. So now he's got the badges out of the way, just one more item check left to go. No, neither player has done the basement. and neither player has seen Elm's item, of course.
Yeah,
so I think that might be the last. Is that the last 2 items that we have yet to check collectively?
Wait, actually, there might be one more. I think there's one. Looking at the tracker, it looks like there's one more we haven't seen yet either. Yeah, no, I marked that one. This is going to be the silver wing, but
which is another rando situation.
Yeah, what's the? Oh yeah, the other one is. Oh, I guess the other one was the. I think maybe I didn't see what Chuck's wife had. Maybe that was it.
Clear bell, okay.
Okay, so Chuck's wife had the clear bell. All right, so it is just 2 items we haven't seen yet. It's the basement item and the item on Elm, so that's going to be either secret. So the Elm item is either going to be secret potion or mystery egg. Is it going to be another vanilla item? I guess it's not technically vanilla.
Yeah, it's not technically vanilla, but it's one of those funny things where it's like, wait, Elm, you were holding the mystery egg all along? It's like when Mr. Pokemon's holding the red scale and he gives you the red scale and you're like, wait, don't you want this? And you hand it right back to him. Like,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I will take that back. Here's an experience share instead. It's one of the it's where you're supposed to hand in the item, not you're supposed to give it to me. Yeah, so it's just so interesting that since both players did take the 2 different routes, and they pretty much, if this were a co-op, they would have shared all this information and they would have been able to narrow it down themselves. But of course they're not. So they kind of have to go through each other's routes now in terms of item checks. Well, in Horse's case, it'll be item checks, and in Snorm's case, it will be badge checks.
Now, if Elm's item is Secret Potion, that might actually be worse for Snorms because that'll push him towards the Olivine and Pinewood area, and we know that Erica at this point has the Storm badge. But if it's the mystery egg, then he'll well, actually, no, he might still go over there anyway. He might still go over there anyway. To be fair, I'm not sure what he would do if this was.
Because he hasn't cleared Signwood yet, so that would advantage him to just having to do. And it is the secret.
It is the secret potion. So yeah, I think that will just. I think that if he wasn't thinking about going towards Signwood already, I think that will push him even more in that direction now.
Yeah. So I think this heads him to. He will only have to invest in going up the lighthouse once instead of twice. But I do think this pushes him in that direction just because it gives him... I don't think he needs more... Oh, he does need more item checks as well. He's going to fight Rival 1. He's not going to be rude, and so he's not going to walk through the old man. He's going to go the normal way in this case. But yeah, I think you're right. I think this does push him more towards the edge of the map instead of what we know is the correct decision. So I'm curious to how much of an advantage having Fly has given Horse if it was able to push him ahead and into the lead, but we know that he still has to make a time investment to go through the Elite Four to get the secret potion anyways. Oh, Snorm's already forgetting that he didn't have cuts, trying to go through the shortcut push.
Yeah, he's still... That is the one item he still needs.
It's kind of a weird reminder. One of the funny things that happened to me once, it wasn't cuts, but it was actually surf, and there was a time where I went to Blackthorn because it was available. I cleared the seven badges, had strength. Claire could have had fog badge, but then didn't, and I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna go back through Dark Cave, and you get to the water and you're mashing A and you're like, wait a second, I can't surf through the water in Dark Cave.
Oh man, that's even
That's
less
the
likely because
worst.
it feels like Surf is often just so early.
Yeah. Yeah, so Snorms has been pushed back to Olivine to clear up Lighthouse, Jasmine, and then eventually towards Signwood.
Yep, it's gonna be the very last badge he gets.
Whew. That is some crazy logic, knowing that Fly was the very first HM he picked up, and the Storm badge is going to be the very last badge he acquired.
Oh boy.
Woof. But it ain't over until it's over. In this case, I do not see Horse having any reason to go to the basement. Even though he is still searching for Seeker Potion, doing the Elite Four fights is, you gotta do them anyway, so it's very little time investment, and he already has Fly, so...
Yeah, I think I would expect.
So I think he's gonna play the very safe play here. It's just a matter of if he wants to fight Blue now or later. And honestly, I don't see any reason why he wouldn't want to fight Blue now. He is definitely at level for this fight.
Yeah, he'll be fine. I've got to say, I'm pretty terrible at judging who's ahead in situations like this.
Yeah. It's I agree, Garth. This is definitely a little bit different, especially with Snorms taking the backwards Kanto strats. Their routes diverge so much. It is challenging, but I kind of like that about this. Is that it is you can't really tell. I think Snow Bear behind the scenes might be right. Maybe Horse does have that little bit of an advantage now that he has the ability to fly. And that advantage does continue to grow no matter what for Horse, because every time Horse can warp around the map and get to where he needs to go instantaneously versus Snorms not having fly, I think up until that point, that advantage that potential advantage might continue to swell. But it is very, very close. And Snorm's getting the Cascade badge.
Yep, not what
I think I heard a desk pounding somewhere around the world. But this is the one where he's going to be very frustrated, as we know. We see it coming, and we're like, oh boy.
Yeah, I mean, there's
not much you can do about that.
You know, the moment that Elm gave the Secret Potion, his fate was sealed, I think. he was always going to come this way.
I think it is interesting that you made that point, that having the Secret Potion on Elm actually was a worst-case scenario.
Yeah, he might have still done this just because there were 2 items this way anyway.
Yeah.
But it just made the decision easier.
This is the statistically correct play. I almost wonder if his gamble to backwards Kanto actually ended up hurting him, because if he would have just done the Elite Four while he was in Victory Road, he would have got the Secret Potion earlier, and then maybe that moved his path closer towards getting Fly at an earlier point, which would be Cut then Fly. I personally love the play. I have not seen backwards Kanto played out before, so...
Yeah, I think it was definitely a very clever thing to think of. It's just it just didn't work out for him in this race.
Yeah, no problems here. Let's see here. I just want to compare both levels. 64 on Horse's screen, and Snorms, who has already gone through the Elite Four, is at 65. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, I think we'll be pushing upper 60s heading into red. Taking the Pokemon Center instead of using that Max Elixir that they picked up. Yeah, just a reminder for everybody in chat, this is the grand finals, but it could potentially be a two-parter. Since this is a double elimination tournament, Snorms has reached here having won all of his matches, so he has not lost yet. Horse's only loss was to Snorms a couple rounds ago. So in this case, if Horse does win today, they will have to play yet another match, since they will be on equal footing in terms of the in terms of loss column. But if Snorms wins, then he will be the outright winner tonight. But yeah, I think this is been a great match.
Yeah, in the event in the event that Horse does win and reset the bracket, as it were, the race would be held at a time yet to be determined. They're not gonna have time.
They're not doing a doubleheader today.
Yeah, no, they're not gonna have time to do a doubleheader.
Which means we'll have the grand finales next time.
The grand finale this time for sure.
Yes, Snorms picking up the mineral badge, and I think another desk got pounded. I think the desk just got thrown at this point. I think it's just between you and me. It's one of my secret life ambitions to do like one of those commercial like flip the table with like a whole bunch of stuff on it. You know, just even if it's staged, like just have like have like cups and waters and like plates and whatnot all on just like this table, and you just flip it, in anger. I think that would be fantastic, right? It's great stress relief.
I think it'd be great. Yeah, no,
Snorms is probably setting up that table right now to just flip it in anger. It doesn't need to be an expensive table. It can just be it's just one of those foldable tables, like one of those $5 tables.
I don't know.
You can see at pretty much any college party.
I don't know. I feel like it would feel better if it was an expensive table, to be honest.
Ooh. Yeah, just like have some like nice wood, like something that would really is gonna like make a noise when it hits the ground.
So yeah, Snorms is going to be checking his lost item.
I think it's crazy that this is the third time that Snorms has been on the SS Aqua. That's got to be some kind of record within itself.
He's just like really hoping, like, please don't make me go to basement, But it's not going to be quite that cruel. It's been cruel enough already.
It's been cruel for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, you make a good point. It would be heavier to flip if it were an expensive table. I'm not going to be flipping no 100-pound table or something like that. Snorms is picking up Cut, so he is officially in go mode. He does know exactly where the Storm badge is now. It will be his 16th badge. This is going to be awfully close if you think about it. So Snorms has Cut. He's just got the 4 fights in Erica's gym, and then just Red. So he's only 5 fights away because he is through the Elite Four. Horse, on the other hand, he's finishing up Karen, so he just has Lance to go, as well as Let's see here. What was the cast? Just Jasmine. So he has to climb the lighthouse, fight Jasmine, and then he'll be off to red. So Horse only has 3 fights remaining compared to Snorms' 5, but a little extra movement. This is awfully
close. Very close, yeah.
Yeah, so don't go anywhere. Grab your popcorn for sure in this one. Yeah, both players, by the way, picking up every single item except for the basement item. But this is great to see 2 different routings end up being so close. Yeah, and I can't think of any kind of bad like fight luck RNG on either end. Of course, you know, Swords Dance Electabuzz takes care of most of that. So, you know, don't leave it to chance. Just have an overpowered main to work with in the first place.
Yeah, usually you see like a bunch of X item setups and stuff, but we haven't really needed any of that. Just Swords Dance and sleep. So it seems this is just like, you know, just like the XY speedrun, really. Just Swords Dance and sleep everything.
So Horse has just finished up the Lance fight, but notice how Snorms went through Erica's gym extraordinarily fast. So perhaps Snorms does still have a bit of an advantage since those remaining fights were clustered so close together. Snorms finally picking up his Storm Badge. And Horse getting the Secret Potion at the same time.
Yeah, so all Snorms has to do is...
Yeah, Snorms did do the Elite Four because he has the Secret Potion already.
He just has to talk to Oak and then head up Mount Silver, taking red.
Yeah, so Snorms eventually did just hold on to his advantage, and honestly, I have to give props to him because I think that comes down to his hyper-efficient routing. Just, even though he didn't have Fly till the very last badge, I'm pretty sure he pretty much took the minimal number of steps possible without it, which pretty much held him in the race, even though he did not have Fly first. So I think it ended up being not as much of an advantage as we originally thought.
Yeah, I mean, it turns out that, you know, Snorms is it was like the best wrong routing that I think that we for this seed that he could have done, really.
Yeah, that really speaks to the that really speaks to the skill of Snorm's play. That even with the technically incorrect routing, even though he was the statistically likely play, made sure to keep everything tight and efficient the whole way. So we will get our first look at red on Snorm's screen, while Horse meanwhile is taking care of Jasmine right now. Whoa, that is one bulky Pokemon in Umbreon. The wrong evolution on red because he usually has the Espeon.
Okay, this looks like it's nothing to worry about though.
Yeah, because even Umbreon, even if he had Earthquake, isn't gonna hit hard enough.
All right, I don't think you need those 2 XPs, but all right, just in case.
Just in case there's an Electrode or an Aerodactyl. Actually, did you notice that Snorms was very smart to hit the Umbreon just kind of initially, and then knock him all the way down instead of knocking him into heal range? Because of course Red has the 2 full restores that can waste time. I think that was also really smart play there.
Yeah, imagine.
By the way, we saw a Venusaur. Red had a Venusaur. Nice randomizer.
Oh, the Raikou actually survived that. Okay.
Wow, and then burned him.
All right.
He'll probably want to heal off that.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh, there's the Aerodactyl.
Okay.
So there's why you got 2x speeds.
I think 1 would have been plenty, but yeah. Looks like he's gonna be okay.
On the final Pokemon here. Wow, what a race. Fantastic stuff from Snorms, who is not only the winner today, but is the champion of our key item randomizer tournament, has not lost a single match, and honestly, with a time of 2:15:39, if I remember correctly, this is actually Snorm's slowest time of the entire tournament, which is absolutely incredible. But yeah, really, really awesome stuff. I believe we have Snorms in our voice call now, and first of all, Snorms, I do want to say congratulations to you on the tournament win.
Thank you.
Before I ask you about backwards Kanto and the routing and whatnot, I do want to watch Horse give him the attention he deserves, as he was just right on your heels the whole time, to be honest. By the way, the Umbreon had Sketch, and it just sketched a Swords Dance.
Yep.
So Horse getting set up here on the Umbreon. Doing the same, two-shotting the Umbreon, but shouldn't be much of a problem on the other 5 Pokemon, as we once again see the level 77 Venusaur, which is the correct level for that Pokemon. Red also had a Wartortle. If we did the forced fully evolved settings, he would have had a Venusaur and a Blastoise in this case, which is just so funny and kind of fitting. No problem with the Zubat there. Just 3 Pokemon to go for Horse. Here's the Raikou, and if Snorm's Electabuzz couldn't one-shot it, we knew that this wasn't going to be a one-shot either. But he didn't get Fire Punched burned this time. Just the final 2 Pokemon here. This will be the Wartortle. Looks like the Aerodactyl is going to be the final Pokemon for Horse's screen. As he goes for Shadow Ball and is able to one-shot. So, wow, well played by Horse. Good game to him as well. Within about 2 minutes of the final time as well. So Snorms, we've got you in here. First of all, fantastic win, and I first have to ask you just how you felt that logic went down overall. Being one of the first items you picked up was Fly, but the last badge you picked up was Storm Badge. What was going through your head that whole time as you were basically searching for the Storm Badge?
I was kind of happy. I was really hoping it was going to be on Jasmine with the play I made to do backwards Kanto and E4. I was kind of hoping Storm Badge would be in Jasmine, because that would have been a lot better for me routing wise. Because I have no idea what Horse did routing wise, but my route did not pay off whatsoever.
Yeah. It honestly looked like you were taking the statistically probable play the whole time, and to that point, you did backwards Kanto, and honestly, this was the first time that I've seen it with my own eyes. So, have you done this? Have you done that strat before? Have you had that many opportunities to attempt the backwards Kanto strats?
No, I'd never done it before.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Well, I'm really glad that, if anything else, you got to showcase it for us all today. Because yeah, if any one of those, I guess it was the 4 gyms you checked between Brock, Blue, Blaine, and Janine, if one of those paid off, that was gonna be be a stellar play. But yeah, too bad there. But honestly, you played really efficiently, even without fly the whole time. It looks like your routing was super efficient. You took as minimal steps as possible, and yeah, just I mean, overall, I think your play was as solid as it's ever been. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I was okay. I'm not happy when I hit the optional on was it Route 10 or the one I just reset
yeah.
anyway. But I was, to be honest, I tilted so hard in Slowpoke Well.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, I was like,
I lost 4 minutes to a soft lock. Like, oh.
Yeah, yeah, I think, yeah, I kind of wondered how, how long we were going to be stuck there because I know we noticed,
Starmie.
we noted that you didn't teach Lovely Kiss earlier, and I kind of wondered if that might have helped there at all. But it turns out, you beat it the second try anyway. But yeah. Nice nice recover stall there, lovely.
In terms of the early game, because you were running the Scyther, which was, by the way, just a female Scyther, and then you didn't pick up the Sweet Scent TM. So were you just pretty much just banking on having like a roamer strat or an early Snorlax strat as being the possibility for you?
Yeah, I was content to keep running the Scyther if I had to. Like, if I absolutely had to, I would have kept going with it because it was just good enough. But I was, like, I saved before the Roamers, hoping one was going to be good, and I was like, Zubat, I don't really have a good way of getting that to a Golbat straight away. I don't even know what the other one was.
The other one was Fortress.
Yeah, it was a Fortress.
Okay.
Would you have actually evolved your Scyther? That's always the biggest question, is because with the Pokemon Randomizer, it evolves at 30, and
I would not have. I would not have evolved the.
So you would have stopped evolution every battle.
Yeah, well, I mean that makes sense because since you taught it Fly, you want to keep Stab Fly on it. So it's definitely a lot more powerful that way. But yeah, congratulations again. We also have Horse in here, and Horse, you played really, really well too. How did that ROM go? Again, kind of the same first question. You got Fly as like the first item, but your Storm badge actually came earlier than Snorms. So how did you feel to get to Cut, to get to Erica, to get the Storm badge? Do you think you might have the advantage there?
Well, the T-Tar was so bad, I was pretty sure I was behind, but at that point, but as the race went along and, like, saw Snorms wasn't done, and then was like, you know what? Maybe he didn't check Erica right away, and thought I might have had a chance, because, like, the Electabuzz was not great either, but it did the job.
Yeah, I like how you caught one Electabuzz, and then I made a comment saying like I've seen like because you use that that got switched in a fair bit when Tyranitar wasn't doing the job, and then like I was like, oh man, I've seen more of this Electabuzz than I expected to, and then like you just get an Electabuzz from the after catching the Elekid on the for the Snorlax, so I thought that was pretty amusing. But you weren't actually that far behind Storms. You were ahead of him for a while because he did get stuck a bit on Slowpoke Well, but then Tyranitar kind of died a little bit as well after that. It was kind of close at that point, but I think at that around the Snorlax, Snorms had a bit of a lead, and then he just never let it go. I think you can like see the statistics here in your done button, and so Horse, you had like a little bit less time in battle, but I think a lot of it was like Snorms had some very clean movement and some clean.
Are you saying he didn't hit the twins on 36?
I am indeed saying that. Yeah.
37.
Actually, that's 30.
I don't have no idea what I was
36
doing.
or
I just like
37.
blanked out. Yeah, 37. My bad. I just totally blanked out because like, do I go down and do basement or do I go to?
Yeah, actually, it's really funny because every player who's done this has had that moment where they all of a sudden are like, their eyes are pointed in different directions, like they're cross-eyed, and you're like, all right, I'm going this way. It's like, wait, but should I go back this way? And like, you can see it because you never stop moving, so your character just kind of does like these awkward like circles, and you're like, wait, where is he going? He just kind of spazzed out for a second, and then you hit an optional because of it. And I'm like, ooh, this was a major brain conflict. But other than that, I mean, you played really, really well. You got to fly first. We thought you might have a slight advantage. It all kind of evened out in the end. But all in all, I mean, I do have to compliment you as well, because, well, let's face it, losing to Snorms is no no disrespect to anybody.
No, I'm glad I made this race more competitive than last time.
I'm just glad that everything worked out, and I appreciate both of you. Thank you both for doing this, and I also do appreciate this end. Well, this is the official end, though. I want to thank everyone who participated, and not only those who participated raced, but also to those who do the commentary as well. Shout out to everyone, and then of course all the people in the back behind the scenes, not only doing the restreaming, but as well as the tournament planning. So thank you everyone for joining, and on behalf of especially Randomania as well. Thank you Randomania for hosting this. So thank you very much everybody. With the conclusion of this tournament, I don't know if there's what the tournament plans are for bingo. That's still up in the air. But if you're wanting more Pokemon stuff, there's probably going to be some more weeklies. It may not have more key item randos, but tune in and just please follow both of our runners and their lovely commentators. So please.
If you want more Pokemon tournament in general, there's actually going to be a Pokemon Red tournament starting next month on. I believe that's going to be hosted on the Speed Gaming Network. So
yes, please.
If you want more Pokemon and you don't care what the game is, then check that out. That's going to be a good time. And yeah, congratulations on finishing a Crystal tournament the same year it started. Good job, everybody.
For those who are wondering, our last tournament kind of there was the last tournament that was the bingo. It was a hiatus for a year until I came in and stepped in to help push the restreaming to end. I'm actually, Storms, Horns, I hope you appreciate. I don't place favorites, but I just didn't want any more matches. So thank you for making it finish today, rather than.
To be fair, Snow Bear and I are on the west coast of the U.S., so it is still 7:30 in the morning here. This match started at 5 a.m. our time. It's not easy for not just the commentators, but especially the restreamers to make sure that we can make these matches work, wherever and whenever these matches take place. So, yeah, no small feat
at this point, and Storms is probably about to head to bed as well, too, maybe. But yeah, thank you. Congrats, Storms, for winning the Gilded, Glorious, the Snow Bear Trophy of Bad ROMs.
The Snow Bear ROM Trophy.
Your prize is an unlimited supply of Snow Bear seeds. That's everyone's prize.
You've got to get some new prizes. I feel like that's just. I feel like
I'm okay with second now.
It's like the winner gets 1 lifetime of Snow Bear's ROM. The second place 2 lifetimes of Snow Bear ROM. It's like always the same thing here.
Yeah.
Okay. The other one is the prize of having the glory of being the top key item rando racers. Okay. So definitely keep that in mind, and thank you everyone for tuning in. But anyways, will you please stay tuned, and please join the Discord if you're interested in any more Crystal stuff. I mean, lately it's been mostly key item randoms, but now with the tournament finishing, I'm sure we're gonna have a lot more Cinco Bingos around. If you're interested with that, there is a new board being worked out. But very well. Thank you very much, and thank you everyone, and thank you to both Garth and T-Pat for commentating this lovely match in Grand Finals, and thank you Storms and Horse for making it such a great close finale. And with that, I think we're gonna bid you guys adieu to have a wonderful day or evening or whatever.
Or morning. Yeah, take care, everyone. Thanks again for having us all and having us entertain you for a little bit.
All right. Bye.
Bye.